Was there upset Penny Saving Bank when Sir Lyndon was saying that it's all right to be giving somebody a plate of food. But when you feed that man that plate of food, he family might need. And that's only one plate of food in the day. The human need to eat at least 3 meals a day. So are you going to feed him 3 meals that day? They were the questions on the discussion. And he said to Sharrock Morris, we are going to use your bank and we're going to call everybody from the grassroots areas because they need employment. And the government offices need to be replenished. They need workers within the government offices. Now, a lot of people mightn't like what I say, but I'm going to say it. Back then, it was a lot of white people working in the government offices, and black people hardly could have gotten jobs. The only jobs they could have get was little jobs in the as maids and porters and gardeners and tea ladies and janitors and things like that. And at that time, Perry Christie was a junior minister of the Ministry of Health. He was very young. He was very young and groomed by Sir Lyndon himself. They took Perry under their wings and groomed him himself. I remember him saying, "Oh, Perry got to do this, Perry got to do that." And you know something? He told them to send pamphlets out to the neighborhoods, all the surrounding neighborhoods where the grassroots people is, so they could come to get interviewed and get a job, regardless. Listen to me carefully, people. Y'all don't understand how powerful this is. Regardless of their political persuasion. You heard me? Regardless of their political persuasion. And Sharrock Morris had flyers print and copied, and he give me a handful, and I go on and get my crew together who used to help me out. They couldn't come with me to Penny Saving Bank, but when I need help, they was there. They was my people, them my age. I gathered them together. I say, "Oh, y'all three, y'all go in Centerville and give out these pamphlet." I go on back to the bank and say, he said, "I just give to you. What you do with them?" I say, "I send 3 of them out to be distributing them from door to door in Centerville." I say, "This the other 5 here with me." I say 3 of them going between Beantown, but it wasn't Beantown then, but it was the Beantown, and I call it still Beantown and Nassau Street area to the other grassroots people in like Oaksfield, close to that area. And I'm gonna stay in the main Grandstown area and go door to door with my peoples then. So he say, okay, so we had more flyers and it was for them to come in. It was for a whole week. And when you go outside the penny saving bank, I never realized how powerful that moment would have been. I talking this now. When that week came, I was there early because it was during the summer vacation. And he said, "You're gonna be the main one doing the interview. The staff or the bank don't get involved in the political side." I said, "Yes, sir." They had it set up. The staff helped set it up though, upstairs to the conference room, and I give everybody. They had boxes of application form, but they had copied, and I give everybody who could write. Because when we told them when we was getting up, bring a pen so you could write. And we had a lot of people who couldn't read and who couldn't write. Yes, we did. And so those ones who couldn't read and write, I will follow their forms for them. I was young. When you're young, you could walk Nassau down. When you're young, you have the energy to do plenty things. And when you're older, you could afford to make excuse why you're involved in this and that because would have done so much civic duty more than people ever imagine you have done. Okay? So that's why I don't even stutter on when people talk. I don't even stutter. And that's the reason I'm telling my story because you have a lot of people who try to make up story around you like they know you when they don't even know you. You know, very seldom I had time for real friends, but I do have real friends. Okay? And a lot of them don't know all the things I doing. A lot of them don't know it. And listen to me. Not a person was turning around. Not a person was turning back. They didn't care who you was voting for, who you vote for. As long as you was behaving and as long as you wanted a job. And listen here, if you couldn't read and write and you're willing to do janitor's work, you do that. You go gardening, you do that. You fix people who had skills to know how to oil engine and fix engine, you do that. You know how to cook. They needed to cook in the kitchens. They did that. They had a linen shop in the hospital as well. They put you to clean linen and to wash and stuff and all of those things. That I look back at that and I look at it and I say that's the renaissance of the making of bringing black people in the forefront to get homes and jobs and cars. That incident and what took place is what caused a lot of y'all now who don't know how it go to have nice jobs, nice jobs, nice everything, houses and stuff now, believe it or not. It started from that because Panama couldn't get no work. They couldn't get no work in the Bahamas, even though they were Bahamians. Until Sir Lyndon came around, they could hardly get no work. Most every women used to be home just having children and whatnot and trying to make ends meet the best way they know how. But they didn't have no jobs. So I look back at that, I say, boy, that's like the renaissance of the making of bringing the Bahamas to the forefront. You know how powerful that moment was? Being there, being the one who did the interview, being a part of the machinery. I didn't realize how important that was, but I did what I needed to do. And I was a young person, very young. And I was happy to be doing those things because, I was poor. And every week, Sir Lyndon and Sharrock Morris made sure I had one little check. My mother wasn't had no job and thing. That was money to help buy the grocery. And let me tell you, I used to run to go do those work. I never do it because of the little check. Because sometimes, plenty weeks, I didn't get no little check. But I did get a little something. Whenever I get a little something, that was like seeing heaven. Because you needed it. Parents weren't working like that. Okay? And the people today, this generation, need to understand who backstage road. Who backstage road. See, it's your parents. They had to go out and work. But thank God for Sir Lyndon, that's how they get the works. And he, look here, everybody who came that whole week, that was like that. The line was on Penny Saving Bank, way around Purity Bread Corner. Way around Purity Bread Corner. Okay? And that's every day, all day, from 9 to 5. 9 to 5. Who didn't get served that day? Got to come back the next day for a whole 5 days. And do you understand me when I say this? Everyone got it a job. That's how the peoples them get inside the government offices. Ooh, and our other counterpart, they were so mad, some of them get. Oh, that's when they start moving out and going into the private sector. Like, because some of them don't want to be waking around too much of us with the blackness, okay? I can say it like it is because that's what took place. And that's why I am telling the story for you to understand the reality of what really took place, okay? What really took place. Even people who that's when they started the first ever health aid program. So they had too much people to be nursing, even though you were qualified, it was too much people for the registered nurse. They started the health aid program, and that's for other qualified people. So you did the same thing the nurses did, and you go and training just like the nurse. But then it was still a new program they started. I was one of them who was a part of it. That's how I got into nursing. I was a part of it, but I didn't like it. So that's another story for another day. Even though I was top student, but um, that's how I got into to nursing. You had to have basically the same qualification, and and they used that as a new program to launch to put people in it. Okay, that's how that took place. That's how that took place. True doing Sir Lyndon. Sir Lyndon ordered it. Sir Lyndon was a visionary, a man of God. You hear me? You only could have the blessing of God to be able to bring things like that into the forefront. So instead of giving a man a fish to eat, that's what's the word he used. You teach them how to fish so they can feed the whole family and be able to eat, not just for a day, but for a lifetime. Hello, somebody. Powerful, ain't it? Powerful, ain't it? And I look back now and I realize this was like the Renaissance. And everything come into play for the black people. And that's why the black grassroots people, they were party voters more than people voters to vote for the people because they remember the important things that Sir Lyndon himself did. Is why you have plenty of them still like how they is. And their children. Because the children, they pass the word on, their children follow suit. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand that. Okay? And that's how all these people get in these government jobs, up in these government places. Yes, that's what's the starting. Now look at it. Full of us, eh? Full of us, eh? That's why I'm telling the story. You need to know the story. I was there. I did the interview because they laugh at me because in one of the interviews, they was looking at over the interview, him and Sir Lyndon, and they had say sex. The person had like maize and a date. I remember that. And Sir Lyndon and Sharry boys were laughing. So I said, well, why you all laughing? Right? And none of them explained it to me, right? So they was laughing. And so Balti Salty, that's the driver and the doorman, he was like a father figure. That's how I look at him because he was such a honorable man too. Men those days never prayed the way they do, trying every time someone go, they pray. No, they were honorable men. So Balti, I was telling Balti, because Balti had to carry me home some evenings. If it get late, used to drive me home. And Balti tell me, say, that's because they were having sexual intercourse. You old enough to know what sexual intercourse is, you should. But they never had it in school. But you talk it among your peers and things around that age, and he knows. So he was a father figure. So when he explained it to me, I burst so laughing. I said, that's what I mean. Because I was like, wow, I couldn't believe people would put that on the paper because sex on the application really mean if you was male or female. But a lot of them wasn't too bright, you know. So we had plenty. That's why they had plenty jokes, and they was looking at the application for boy. So when I came to understand, I was laughing, but I see it too. Yes. So that's what took place, and that's how all them grandparents, which had some great grandparents, because there's so much young people had children, and they young people have children, so their great grandparents. That's how they got those jobs in government. That's how they get the jobs in government. I am telling these stories because I realize nobody have, and I realize how important it is for the generation to know. And before I leave this earth, I need people to know my part in helping my country in many aspects of it, baby. I was one of them who stood on the sideline. And that's why when people come to me, oh, how she can get this, how she get, baby, I earn every stripe I get. Every stripe I get, I earned. I was one of them because you come from the poor home. When you go in these offices now with these people who think they only born with steak and onions, they never like you because they look at you as a poor person. Oh, she poor. Don't care how well you dress and stuff. They don't like you because you didn't come from the you. They look at you as from the wrong side of the tracks, baby. They look at you from the wrong side of the tracks, baby. And I look at them and laugh and say, if y'all only knew how plenty of you not getting these offers in the first place. Hello, somebody. I earned every stripe that I have. Trust me. Because when you have people who hate you for even how you look, slim, sexy, nice looking, pretty hair, pretty skin, and smart, oh, yeah, that's me. They can hate you for how you was. You ain't gonna get nothing, sweetie. You even never used to get promotion when you deserve it. So that's the reason why I'm telling my story. I let no Jezebel there. You heard me? No Jezebel there. No Delilah there. Okay? Tell my story. That's the reason why I'm telling it. Because I even best friends I have don't know all the things I did. Because I never sit and told them. Hello, somebody. That's why I'm telling my story now. Not only for who want to listen, but for my future generation. They could hear from me. Hello, somebody. And I have an avenue to put it where the world could hear from me. Hello, somebody. So that's how that going down.